and you're paying, what, $2 a gallon for your gasoline? That's okay. You know what that's like? That's like a tax cut. That's bigger than a tax cut. If Biden got in, you'd be paying $7, $8, $9. Then they say, get rid of your car.
Dude, where's your car?
Dude, it's not funny, dude. The car's gone.
Dude, there's your car. Oh.
As painful as it may be for you to fill up your car with $4, $5, $6, or $7 gasoline, indeed the officially highest price average for gasoline ever in American history, it will be extra painful for you to absorb the reality that you are directly funding the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin's war on civilians and his killing of children, women, innocents all across Ukraine. Now listen, you are directly funding that every time you pump your sedan full of $5 gasoline. You are funding the MiGs, the fighter jets, the helicopters, the personnel carriers, the tanks, the battleships of Vladimir Putin's Russia. Don't believe me? Do you know that America buys right now, today, about 10% of its foreign oil from Russia? While we're arming the Ukrainians and sending arms to Ukraine to fight Russia, we are with the same hand funding the Russian war effort. You, by the way, are the one paying for it. You always are. Russia is taking the proceeds of its number one export and resource, which is crude oil and petroleum products, and using those proceeds to directly fund their war effort. They're open about this. It's obvious, and it's an economic reality. Russia invades when oil prices are high. They did it with Crimea. They did it with Georgia in 2008, the last time that gas in America was over $4 a gallon. Russia uses these opportunities to fund its expansionist reconstitution of the Soviet Union. Vladimir Putin has talked about this at length. Why are you buying Russian oil? I doubt that you went to the pump and said, please, only Russian crude. Well, you have to understand the oil industry, and you have to understand how it works in order to realize why you're directly funding the dumb bombs that are smashing into apartment buildings in Kyiv. The way that it works is that America has enough oil reserves and enough oil gifted to us on this continent and within our control to provide the oil that America needs to operate. However, your elites in this country have decided that they would rather listen to a Swedish teenager for their energy policies, and Greta Thunberg screamed at them at the United Nations.
I shouldn't be up here.
She cried with her twisted little face and her twisted little sneering to tell everyone that they were dirty, shaming the fetishizing world leaders of this little child, shaming them into killing their own oil, their own energy. This happened across Europe. Europe was a net exporter of natural gas. Did you know that? In the early 2000s? They were shamed, scolded into killing their own energy reserves and supplies. It's suicidal for a developed nation to do that. It's suicidal on many levels, but most especially, and one that we talk about in this show, is natural law. Because powerful countries and powerful animals are the same thing. They must be dominant, they must be strong, they must be able to provide for themselves, they must be able to hunt, they must be able to gather, they must be able to claim territory and keep that territory through their own strength. Well, when a lion is dying or diseased, the younger lions move in and they take from him. Right now, the question is, why are we diseased? Why are we buying Russian oil? And it's very simple. On day one, Joe Biden canceled the Keystone XL pipeline, killing 1 million barrels a day that would be flowing into America. For context there, we import around 800,000 barrels a day from Russia. So the exact same amount that we would be importing from Russia, killed with the Keystone XL pipeline. That was happening on day one. In the subsequent days, Joe Biden not only killed all of the oil speculation on federal lands and new prospecting, all inside of the lower 48, he also killed the Anwar drilling up in Alaska. Russia, back in the day, sold America Alaska in a very cool little deal, and Alaska is rich with natural resources and oil. But we don't want to drill for that oil, so we import oil. Joe Biden's policies have cut us off at the knees, leading to more and more severe energy dependence for a nation that was energy independent under Donald Trump. Under Donald Trump, America was a net exporter of oil for the first time since 1949. First time since the 40s that America exported natural gas and oil because Donald Trump had unleashed American energy. Joe Biden swiftly killed that, and then also, the final insult, gave Nord Stream 2 to Vladimir Putin. Nord Stream 2, a lot of people talk about it. All it is a new pipeline to get Russian fuel into Europe, therefore doubling or tripling the amount that they can send and the amount that the Europeans can buy. There's only so much gas that can travel in the pipeline. Simple physics, and you got to be able to move the stuff. So these kind of massive projects are things that can be sanctioned or shut down by various entities. America is one of them. Joe Biden essentially handed that to Vladimir Putin, giving away all of his leverage that he would have. So Russia sells us gas. How much gas does Russia sell America? Well, you'd think that it wasn't that much because, goodness gracious, prices are going through the roof. In LA, you can see that prices are $7 a gallon or more at various stations. Prices are up 9% from just 1 week ago. But here's the reality of how America gets their gasoline. According to the U.S. Energy and Information Administration, from November 2021, the U.S. imported 254 million barrels of oil. Now, America consumes 17 million barrels of oil a day. A day. You're very thirsty out there, Americans. Stay thirsty. By comparison, Russia consumes 3 million barrels, but Russia's economy is 1 trillion, and America's economy is 20 trillion. So we have an economy that's 20 times bigger than theirs. America has people that need to move from place to place. We are rocking and rolling as a nation. People got to get to their jobs in order to innovate and in order to provide for our people. Man, we have a booming economy. The economy of Florida is approximately the size of the economy of Russia. So there's your same, right? In fact, every state in America has an economy the size of some major world country. It's very interesting. There's a map out there floating around about it. What's your state's economy equivalent in countries? It's very cool what a great country America has and what a massive economy we have. It's where our power comes from. The data shows that the U.S. increased its imports from Russia by an average of 154,000 barrels a day for the first 11 months of 2021. So Joe Biden's presidency has been great for Vladimir Putin. Never has Putin gotten such a great deal, the Americans importing so much of his dirty oil. The U.S. imports two types of oil from Russia, crude and refined products such as gasoline and kerosene. Last June, the U.S. imported 848,000 barrels a day of crude refined inside of Russia, Russian oil. You want to know how Vladimir Putin gets enough money to go invade other countries? Because it's very costly to do that in blood and in treasure. This is how. Your dollars at the gas pump. The increase resulted in Russia edging out Mexico to become the second largest foreign oil supplier to the U.S., behind only Canada. With tensions in Russia, the U.S. risks cutting off 7% of its current imports. Under Trump, the U.S. focused on producing more oil and gas here at home to end reliance on foreign energy. In fact, for the first time since 1949, the U.S. exported more than it imported. 635,000 barrels a day more, in fact. Trump was able to say, hey, listen, we have the energy here. We can kneecap the worst regimes on earth by simply making energy here in America. You have Maduro in Venezuela. You have the Ayatollahs in Iran. You have many evil autocracies throughout the Mideast. Russia, obviously. These are bad hombres, as Donald Trump would say. And America making its own energy. Hey, man, do you remember gas being below $2 a gallon? I certainly do. You can go and... I have photos on my phone of gas being below $2 a gallon. That's what American energy looks like. Biden sought to do the opposite. As soon as he took office, he encouraged more overseas production in Russia and Middle Eastern companies and set America up to be more reliant on foreign energy. His policies have done this policy after policy. Cancellation and killing of American infrastructure and energy. We were gifted by God with these natural resources. There are many countries that don't have any oil. This is why Hitler had to go invade other countries to get their natural resources to fight World War II, because Germany doesn't have these types of resources. America does. And the fact that we don't use them for our own national security, because energy is a national security issue, we are finding that out, of course, right now. It's bewildering. It's suicidal. It's dangerous. And it also means that you, personally, when you put a gallon of gasoline into your car, are funding Russia's war in Ukraine. Don't think about it too much, because you might not be able to sleep at night, but that's precisely what you're doing. It's a dangerous game these people are playing. They are horrible people. We do not want America to be weak. We want America to be strong. To be strong, you have to be able to provide for yourself, and America can do that. It's just our leaders refuse to, because they won't get applauded at the caviar and Russian vodka parties at the embassies inside of Washington, D.C. They like to tell themselves that this is all about green energy, but we know the truth. Many of them are heavily leveraged and invested in wind farms and solar panels and so on and so forth. This is all about getting themselves rich. They want America to be dependent, and they want to be the person who's holding the other end of the leash. It's time to cut that leash. It's time to unleash American energy and make the world a safer place. Tell your elected official next time you see him at the gas pump, hopefully, that you don't want to be funding the war inside of Ukraine. That it's evil. And you're sick of blood money gasoline staining your car red.
Thank you for watching. We are 100% independent news. Are you sick of being lied to? We certainly are. That's why we started this channel. But we can't do it without you. We can't keep going without your help. All we ask is that you click like and subscribe and share this video. It's free, and it keeps us going, it keeps us growing, it keeps us getting the truth out there to break the rotted corporate media infrastructure that wants to lie to you every single day, wants to corrupt your narratives, your truth, your story, and your very society. So support us by clicking like, clicking subscribe, and thank you, Patriots.